Hello, today we're in the 7th grade Language Arts Literature text packet, and we're going to look at how do strategic readers create meaning from the text, as well as what is literary text really about. As we look at these two areas, we are going to participate in a close read of a few poems today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. And we're going to close read them to look for what the text says, how the text says it, and why the text matters. As we read through the poem, in the first phase, for what the text says, we're going to simply create an objective summary of the text. As we do so, we are looking at learning target number 5 to create an objective summary of the text. Remember, with a fictional summary, if there is in fact a clear plot in this poem, we need to make sure that our summary ties up around the conflict. If this is a poem that shows such strong emotion, we need to make sure that we're true and objective to the emotions shown by the speaker in the poem and give a solid summary from the beginning, middle, and all the way to the end of the poem as well. In the second phase of reading, we're going to focus on reading for how the text says it. As we look in the second phase, we're going to look at how the author wrote it. And in this case, we're going to look at the structure of the poem. So reread the text for how the text is written. What's the impact of the structure on the poem? For this phase, you're also going to provide a cited text evidence to support your response. Please begin your opening sentence with the poems written in the free verse structure to emphasize, describe, show, or imply something. As we read for this phase, we're going to be focusing on learning target number 10 to analyze how the poem's structure contributes to the theme or message of the piece. This is a new structural note. We're looking at free verse, a poem that doesn't use a specific set structure. It's free. You might see some rhyme. You might not see some rhyme. You might see clear lines and stanzas with syllables and rhymes, or you might see a poem set up with no clear method for why the lines are worded the way they are. That's a free verse. As we also look at the impact of the free verse structure, please remember to cite a few lines as text evidence. Please do not cite an entire poem as your evidence. Only pick your best 2 to 3 lines that you think help to explain the point you're making for answering this particular question. Make sure you also put quotation marks around your evidence and cite it word for word from the text. As we go into the final phase of reading, phase 3, we're going to look for why the text matters. As we read for why the text matters, we're going to look for the following. We're going to look for the interaction between the point of view in the piece and the theme. In this piece, we have a character called the campesino. And the campesino is a peasant farmer. This question is asking, how does the campesino's point of view impact the theme? So make sure that you use the perspective of the campesino to help you determine how his perspective actually does convey a specific message in the piece. As we look at this, we're going to look at learning target number 7 to analyze how the author develops the point of view of a character within his poem. As we look at this one, we're also going to look at number 6 to analyze how particular elements interact in the poem. We're going to look at how the perspective, so in other words, that particular position of the speaker or outlook of the speaker, how his position or outlook, how the campesino's, position or outlook creates a specific message for us as the reader. So we're also going to be looking at learning target number 3 to determine a theme for the text. Remember, your theme should be determined using the campesino's point of view, his perspective about the text, to help determine what theme that might tie into. Remember, once you come up with a specific answer for that, please make sure that you cite text evidence to support yourself and follow it with a full analysis. So go ahead and get working on this close read.